Good afternoon. It is so good, Dr. Alvin, to be back on our program, the Relationship and Marriage Hour for the afternoon. I wish to welcome you again on the program. Also, to all of our listening audience out there, we are happy that you have stopped to tune in to see what we have to say. However, we would like for you to send in any question that you may have or any comments.
Mhm.
Please, this is an interactive show, so please send in your comments, your questions, and we will be able to answer them. So today we are looking at the ingredients for a successful marriage. And
Mhm.
Dr. Alvin, first of all, let me let our audience know that our guests, um, the Hanshos, are not able to be with us this afternoon due to technical difficulties. So
Mhm.
we will have them on another program. However, we have a new guest, another guest on the show for today, and they will be joining us as we go into the program, into the show. So today we are looking at the ingredients for a successful marriage or relationship. And
Mhm.
Dr. Alvin, I thought about cake. That's one of the
Oh,
most pleasant things that we can use at this time.
yes,
I,
yes.
I love cake, especially pineapple upside down cake.
Oh, wow.
Thing is, not everyone can bake that cake to please me, right?
Oh, okay.
If we, if we are baking a cake, Dr. Alvin, that cake we have to put in all the ingredients. If
Mhm.
we do not put the baking powder, the salt, the sugar, and
Mhm.
even though cake is sweet, you have to put a measure of salt and
Mhm.
your sugar and all of the eggs and all of the good stuff to make that cake taste good.
Vanilla flavoring.
Vanilla flavoring, yellow
Yeah.
food coloring, all of
Mhm.
these things are the components that make that cake taste so good. Not to mention
Mhm.
that if it's an icing cake.
Mhm.
So, Dr. Alvin, um, if we miss any of the ingredients from that cake, you can tell something is missing. It
Mhm.
doesn't taste as good. So that is what we look at when we talk about a relationship. All of the necessary ingredients must be put into that relationship to make it sweet and
Mhm.
beautiful. So,
Yeah.
to our listening audience, my co host for the afternoon is Dr. Alvin Hepburn, and I'm going to allow him just to say hello and whatever he would like to say at this time, and then we will dive right into our program.
Okay. Good day, Dr. MacDonald.
Good.
Good to see you again. It is good to be here. And what an interesting topic that
Mm-hmm.
we are discussing today. Yes, ingredients for a successful marriage slash relationship. I'm excited once again to be on the broadcast so we could talk during this relationship marriage hour that we have. And I say it is always good every week when we come. We pick topics that we think our listeners would want to listen to. So we hope that they're being encouraged, and I stand in support with you and reiterate, as you said, if they have any questions, any concerns, any comments you want to make, just send them to us so that we can address those in the future. But Doc, as you were talking about all of the ingredients that needs to go into a successful marriage, um, and like you love cake, I I would say I think I am the king of that, or the president of that party that
Oh
love cake. Um, yeah, yeah. My wife always say to me that I just like sweet.
my.
I love sweets, cake, and all of that stuff. And I see it, Doc, this way as it relates to relationship and marriage is when I was young or younger, I used to help my mother make cake.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she would give me the ingredients. She'll have them all on the table. So we didn't have a mixer back then. I was the mixer. All we had was a big bowl and a big spoon. And she would tell me how much flour to put in, how much sugar to add, how much butter, all of that stuff. She told me to do, and she stood over me and she watched me do it.
Hmm.
And those cakes used to come out so nice, Doc. Oh
I
man! But let me tell you this part of my story though. After I left the Bahamas and went off to school and started living by myself, I decided that I could make this cake by myself.
hmm
I didn't know all the ingredients. I remember what to do because I used to do it for years. I tried it and Doc, every cake I have done came out bad. Every
Whoa.
cake I did by myself.
Wow.
Then
Why?
one summer I went home and I said, Mommy, I did everything that you taught me. And she said, Let me see. And she stood over me and we did it again. And the cake came out so nice. Why I say that story. There must be more than one person in a relationship.
Yes.
If one person is trying to make it work, it ain't gonna work.
No. No.
It
No.
gotta be two persons putting in these ingredients and making it work. And that's why I love your cake analogy. Two
Hmm.
persons gotta be working this cake stuff together in order for it to come out beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's the thing with a marriage.
And that is so beautiful. You know, all the while you putting in everything, but because you were alone, the
Hmm.
cake did not come out. But how about it? I love baking, and I always do everything. All the ingredients were in the cake, but guess what? I took the cake out of the oven too soon,
Oh wow.
right? So what happened? The cake was dumb.
Yes.
So it proved now we're looking at two scenarios here.
Hmm.
You needing someone to work to make that cake good, and if you take it out of the oven too soon, you have a dumb cake, even though you have all the ingredients.
Yes.
And those are the things that can go wrong in relationship, that can show up in relationship. You may be doing everything right, and then the something still go wrong. So with the cake coming out the oven dumb, you can be doing everything with that relationship, but at the same time, you are rushing the relationship ahead of its time, and you can also have a problem. So, some things need to just bake a little longer in the
Yeah.
oven to become perfect,
Yes.
perfection, right?
Hmm.
So, usually, Doc, and we're going to take off right here. Usually, sometimes there are persons, you meet someone, they seem to have all of the things that you're looking for in a person, all of the qualities you're looking for in a young man or young woman,
Hmm.
but you still do not take time to develop the relationship. You run headlong into the relationship, and then you find you encounter problem.
Yes.
He's not lacking anything. All of the points you have on your list, you tick, 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 they're there. But what went wrong? And that it simply means we can jump ahead. And even though they have the quality, what can happen too is that perhaps he may not be ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is not the time for both of you, either of you, to start a relationship, even though he has the quality. And I believe, Doc, in a case like this, you can have a problem.
Hmm.
But what we're focusing on this afternoon is relationship that would have stood the test of time and are still going strong.
Hmm.
When we look, I saw this within this week, someone was celebrating, I think it was 62 years of marriage. 62 years of marriage. Our guests that will join us in a few minutes, they are celebrating 58 years of marriage.
Wow.
58 on last week. Our other guests, they celebrated 49 years. So we see there must be something good that they are doing. They have all the ingredients that are in the relationship to make it work. Doc, your opinion.
Yeah. Um, People don't just want to eat the cake. They want the end product, but they don't want to go through what it takes to get to that position, to get to the cake tasting good. None of us, I haven't seen anyone, so I shouldn't say none of us though, but I don't know anybody who like flour, who just go and say, you know what, let me go eat some flour.
Mm,
Or somebody who say, let me just go eat some butter. Or let me just go drink a tin of cream.
mm-hmm.
Or eat some nutmeg or some baking powder. No, when you put all of them together
They're beautiful.
and mix that cake batter up nice, and you put in the energy, if you put in the work and that and all, you can have all of the ingredients. You have all of the ingredients sitting on the counter, but if you don't put it together and wake it, you can forget it.
Wow. Now that's
And
powerful.
yeah, and the thing is, Doc, there are some people out there who look at you and say, "Oh wow, Dr. MacDonald's been married for all of those years. I want a marriage like hers," but they're not willing to work like you worked. They're not willing to put in the sacrifice.
Yep.
There were plenty nights, plenty days you had to bite your tongue, like they say, or
Mm-hmm.
bite. Plenty days you had to just walk away and say, you know what, Jesus, you have to handle that one.
Yep. Oh yes. Oh yes.
All they see is you and Brother
Kevin.
McDonald holding hand, laughing and having a good time, and they say, that's the marriage I want. But that marriage came at a price.
It certainly did. It certainly did.
And many people don't want to pay the price.
Yep. Yep.
So when it comes to when we start talking about things, the ingredients for a successful marriage, you gotta have patience.
Mm.
You gotta be long suffering. You gotta be understanding. You gotta be able to forgive and forget.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I was early in tenure in my marriage. We went to a marriage conference in St. Louis, Missouri, at the church that we were going to, and the oldest couple at the time married. They were on a panel having a panel discussion, and they were married 67 years.
Wow.
67 years at the time. And I was like, what? I trying to figure out if I know people 67 years old. For you to be married for 67 years, and somebody in the audience asked them, how did you all stay together for 67 years?
Wow.
And the lady said, these were, she said, you have to learn how to forgive and to forget.
That's the key.
You can't hold nothing in. You got to forgive and forget. And then she said this, and all of us laughing. And I deal with the money.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that was 67 years of wisdom.
Yes. We had a couple on before, and the wife also dealt with the money.
Yes.
She said
Now,
one of the
Tanya's
reasons.
deal with our money.
Yeah, yeah, and so it works. Now that may not be the case with everybody. Someone may have the opposite. Maybe the spouse, the husband, may be the one that deals with the money in the family, and that's fine. So, you know, it depends on what works for you. The main thing or the most important thing is ensuring that you have all of the ingredients in your relationship. Just like when you're baking the cake, we can list them off. And same with the relationship, you can list off what are the ingredients that you need. The most important thing is, for the cake is the baking powder. So when we're talking about a relationship, I believe the most important ingredient would be the, the trust. You have to trust each other in order to have a good relationship. Look at the cake. If there is no baking powder in the cake, you have a dumb, sweet, a sweet, dumb cake. The cake will have all the other ingredients, the sugar and the egg and everything. So it will taste good, but it will not be that light, fluffy. It will be dumb. So your relationship should be built on trust. It should be built on trust. And if there is no trust, then you will have um, you will have some problems. Because if you cannot trust your spouse, that's a big one. That is a big one. Um, if you can't trust your spouse, you cannot be at peace. You cannot be at peace with yourself. Because anytime your spouse leaves your presence, your first thought, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder if he's telling me the truth. I wonder if she is doing anything. And it's almost like natural. These thoughts will come to your mind. So you have to make up your mind that you have to trust. So one of the main ingredients is trust. And in addition to trust, we look at the sugar in the cake. If you don't show that affection, if you don't have love for each other, a relationship may be started without love. But at the end of the day, love must be one of the ingredients. Affection and love. Those are the ingredients that you would want to have in order for your relationship to work, to be a happy relationship. So, um, for the married couple, you have to put the work into your relationship. If you are not working to make it a happy relationship or happy marriage, if you're not putting in any work, then how can you expect to gain something beautiful? Um, Dr. Alvin had mentioned a few minutes ago that you know you people want the good relationship, they want everything that goes with it, but are unwilling to work. When you talk about making a relationship work, you talk about putting in time, you talk about putting in respect. All of these ingredients have to put into that relationship to make it work. It cannot work by itself, and it cannot work just by saying I love you. You have to put the time in. You have to know how to speak to each other. See, the thing is, in relationship, in marriage especially for persons who are just getting married, when you come together with your spouse, you're newlywed, you come into that relationship, you bring in all of your ways of doing things as a single person. So now you're talking about making a marriage work. You have to consciously stop long enough, begin to look at how you can do things together. You've been working all alone all the time. Now it's time for you to put your spouse in the picture. How can we make this relationship work? What do we have to do now? I am used to living a single life, and now I am with spouse. And I believe that is some of the reason, Doc, that some people marriages fail within the first year, within the second year, because they have not learned how to move away from being a single to a couple.
Mhm.
So we bring that single mentality into the relationship and thinking it's going to work. It's not going to work.
Mhm.
That's where
Mhm.
problem comes in. And I've heard people said that if your marriage survived the first year, you kind of good to make it for the next couple of years.
Mhm.
Most of our marriages fail within the first 2 years.
Yeah. First 2 to 5 years. Yes.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is not a good thing. We have to be able to move away from single lifestyle to a couple lifestyle. And
Mhm.
you have to be humble enough to change some things, even the thing you don't like or like and don't want to change. You may have to change them. Selfishness, Dr. Alvin, is not one of the ingredients in a healthy marriage.
Mhm. Mhm.
Your thoughts?
So true. So true, Doc. That is powerful and true. Yeah. If and this is what I say during counseling sessions, Dr. MacDonald. I say to people, if you want to be by yourself, then don't get married.
Yes,
Don't rush to get married if you want. Oh well, I need my time. I just need to be by myself. But let go be by yourself. But when
exactly.
you decide that you want to share your life with someone, that's exactly what that means. You are
Right.
sharing, and selfish people don't like to share.
That's it. Yes.
They
Yes.
want it all for themselves. So if you ask me, selfish people should never get married.
Mm, that is so
Selfish
true.
people, selfish people should stay by themselves and enjoy life by them. Listen, if you want to be by yourself, go on the cruise by yourself, build a house by yourself, drive the car, be in the car by yourself, grow all by yourself. Nobody's stopping you from doing that if that's
And
what
don't,
you want.
yeah, and don't call for a man when you or a woman
Thank
when
you
you.
very much. If you
Yeah.
want to be by yourself, be by yourself. And understand too, Doc. I understand that in a marriage too, everybody needs their alone time. That's not what we're talking about here. Cause
Mm,
cause every now and again I wanna get my fishing line and I wanna go out by the beach or by the bay and go fishing and just that's just me, me and my God. So
yeah.
that's Alvin time. Tanya wants to sometimes she just want to go in her office, sit at her desk and fix a puzzle.
Hmm.
That means Alvin, don't bother me. I have no problems with that. But
Yes.
but I still all up in her face. She's still all up in my face because why we married?
Yes. Yes. And you can only
And
do
that's what
that.
marriage is.
That's right. And Doc, you can only do that separation for a period of time, but you come back together, and that come back
Yes.
together isn't a long period of time.
Oh, that's no, that's just a couple hours. That's just a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if the person that you are looking at now, if you ain't married yet, if the person you are looking at now, you can't see yourself spending every waking moment, or even while you sleeping, you will be sleeping on the side of the person you love. If that
Yeah.
ain't the person, man, just to waste your time, leave them and move on.
Keep moving. That's true.
Keep
That's
on
true.
moving.
Yes.
Be, because the ingredients, some of the ingredients for a good and a healthy marriage, it includes being up in the other person's business.
Oh yes. Yes. And that's what you
If
signed for.
Thank you very much. If I can't come and talk to Tanya,
then who else I could talk to?
Yes.
If Tanya can't come and talk to me, who else?
And
When
that,
anything new comes to my mind, Doc, the first person that comes, oh, I need to tell this to is Tanya.
yes, yes. And that's an order.
Yeah. Because not only is Tanya my wife, she's my best friend.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So those are ingredients to a healthy and a lasting marriage. To
Hmm.
a good marriage is to, and you gotta be understanding. Mind you, you could be stubborn, but even in your stubbornness, you gotta have some sense.
So
When
true.
you know that you wrong, just admit it.
Yes.
Say you know what, honey? Your ideas sound better than mine.
Hmm.
Even though I wanted to do it my way, your way sound better. Let's try it.
Boy,
That
Don,
ain't hard.
that ain't bad, but sometimes it's not easy in some relationships
It's
because
only not easy, dog, when you are full of yourself.
that's true. That is true.
Because the purpose of Tanya in our relationship and me in our relationship is that we trying to make it better.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
bring the ideas to the table, and whichever one is the best one, that's the one we go with.
Go with.
Like I hear people say, growing up and all that stuff. My wife can't make more money than me, and and I'm like, huh, it doesn't matter. Listen,
It doesn't
I
matter.
have no problems if Tanya make 10 times as much as I make. Do you know why? Because we are still one.
And all go into one pot. One pot.
My I know I shouldn't talk my business, but we had to pay a bill, and Tanya said to me today, a couple of hours ago, Alvin, I going to the bank and I going to take off all of your money, and I said, well, you know what that means, eh? So she was like, what? I said, that means you taking out all of your money
That's right.
because all of my money is all of your money.
Yes. 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 And that's what it takes to keep things moving forward. We cannot
Yeah,
of me, myself, and I. That was when
yeah,
we were single. When we become married, we are one. We are,
yes. And
and
you got
even
to think that.
right. And even if some people may this still want to keep separate bank account, fine. But
Uh-huh.
common ground is you can have one account that deals strictly with the house. You have your personal account, you do whatever you want with that. But we can come
Yes,
to have a personal account for the house. These are
yeah,
the ingredients that make a good marriage. He has
yes.
an account, your private personal account, and she has a private account, but there's one account for the house.
Yes. And Doc, do you know what baffles me? I was counseling a group, well, a couple, and there was more than one couple. I was counseling them, and and I had to ask them because we were talking and talking and talking backward and forward, and then I asked the wife. I said, "Do you know how much your husband is make?" And she said, "No."
Wow.
I said, "What?" And I asked the husband, "Do you know how much she's make? Your wife make?" He said, "No." I said,
Why?
"So." I was like, "Why don't you all share that information?" Oh, because that's our personal information. And I said, "Wait. Y'all
Oh,
is share your bodies with each other. What can be more personal than that?"
what is more personal?
I
Wow.
said, "Y'all sleep together in the same bed every night. Y'all say y'all making love, where however y'all is do that. Y'all
Hmm.
doing all of that.
But
But
can't say
still, when it comes to money, it has to be a secret." I
that
said,
is
these arguments that y'all are having right now is because y'all don't know what the next one doing. Because this is what she said. Oh well, he don't give me much money to help pay the mortgage. Well, you don't even know how much he's make. He paying the rest of the bill. How do you know he even have money left over?
that's right. Oh wow. And
Because
these
y'all
are
don't discuss it.
And these are the simple things that doesn't have to cause a division in the relationship.
Yeah.
Know how much what you're making, know and what you're bringing to the table. And,
Yeah.
and that seemed there too a lack of trust because you don't
Yes.
trust him with your money and he doesn't trust you with his money. How can you now serve each other but have that problem there? It will not work.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
somebody may force it to work, they may force it to work, but the best thing is when you can pool together. You know, Doc Alvin, for some people, it's always good when they would have gotten married, that they would have consider how we're going to spend our money, what we're going to do
Hmm.
before you get into that relationship. You know, because
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you get into that relationship and you got a money issue, you got a problem, and these are the things that carry you. That same one thing, some people may okay. You may be you may be someone with money. She may be someone with money, right? So for both of you, your money is just separate, you know. So um, your money is separate. So because of that, sorry, because of that, you have money. Maybe it will not matter, but if you are trying to build together and you are starting one is for one to do it, it's insufficient. For the other, it's enough. Then you must come together. And I've heard
Yeah.
somebody say that is why young people need to get married at a young age because you can build together.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
can build together, and it's so much
Hmm.
easier with two than one.
Yes.
Dr.
Yeah.
Alvin, we're happy to have our guests. They are ready to come into the studio. So we are happy to invite to be a part of this discussion Dr. Annette and Mr. Franklin Bethel, and they will share with us. Good afternoon, Dr. Bethel and Mr. Bethel. So good to have you both on the show today.
Good afternoon. We're happy to
Good
be here.
afternoon.
Okay,
Yes, good afternoon.
and we know that you are still in the celebration mode.
Hmm.
You are celebrating 58 long years. My Lord,
Oh wow.
that
Yes.
Alvin, that's older than some of us.
That's
Eh,
way older than me. Hey,
58
that
years.
that that marriage beat me by almost 10 years, almost a
Oh my,
decade.
oh
Yes,
my
Wow.
goodness.
yes,
Oh my goodness.
yes.
And it feels like just about yesterday.
Wow,
What?
The time
wow.
just goes by so
Hmm.
fast.
It
But
surely
y'all
does.
only look like y'all but 45, 50.
Well,
Re-
thank you for the compliment.
remind me to give you a check for that, okay?
Okay, I will.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
So this is beautiful. Doc, I know you was talking the other day about not being able to find anyone within your years of marriage, 58 years. But I was shocked. I saw someone was married for 62 years.
Mm.
Yes,
They were celebrating this week as well.
that's
So
Yeah.
wonderful.
listen, I believe you can take the show and give us all of the good stuff. We know that in the midst of this 58 years, it has not always been a smooth road. I
Mm-mm.
am sure
No.
you had hills, you had valleys,
Hmm.
you had them all.
Mm.
So share with our listening audience what are some of the ingredients to make 58 years of marriage.
I'm going to just say one little piece and then let it take over because it was something with the conversation which you all had just a while ago with this money thing with okay, but one of the things that I always tell people, with every decision or choice that you make is either blessing or curse. All of it, every single decision you make is either
Yes.
you will either receive a blessing or cursing. Okay, when you determine to get married to somebody, you better know who that person is before. You see, because once you get in, I always tell people, this is no dolly house play. So once you're in it, you're stuck. You are stuck according to God's holy word. You are stuck unless one of them get out of hand and commit adultery. Apart from that, you're stuck. And as I drive along the road, if I fall in a hole with my car and I get a flat tire, all I do, I go to the tire shop and I get it patched. I don't throw away the car.
No, no. Good point. Good, good,
I go
good
and
point.
I get it patched, and then I get in my car and start rolling again. So there are going to be some bumps. When you go in the plane, every flight isn't smooth. But the pilot don't turn around every time you hit a bump.
No.
What?
He continues and he glides along and try to make it work. He makes it work.
Mhm.
And each of us have to determine, not one person, two persons have to determine that we are going to make it work.
Yes.
I just want to throw that in.
That's powerful. I like that. You get a flat tire, but you don't throw away that car. I love it.
You better not.
I love that.
If you
That's
throw away the car, throw it away in front of my yard.
Let me let me also say this because every so often my brother asks me to come and assist him, and we are adults on this show, so let me say one time there's a young man came in his office, and my brother, well, he still does, but he used to have some nice looking gals in his office, working in his office. But one fella came in his office one time, and he said to him, he said, "Boy, I know you just hit that ordeal." My brother say, close the door behind you. He said, "You see those ladies out there? They're there for people just like you, who running behind every pretty face, every nice shape. They are there for people like you to keep you coming back in this office." He said, "Now let me tell you about them and my wife. If they come in my office and my wife in the office, I tell them, I say, the two of you are stripped. Take all your clothes off. When I look up here, I say, oh my goodness, it's the same thing. I go down a little further, same thing. And as far as everywhere I look, it's the same thing. So if you got the same thing, why do I need to go out there?
Very good.
You see, until people understand that when you slip outside of the marriage covenant, you don't know what you're getting into. You could go, but then you don't know what you're bringing back to you. You don't know what you're collecting on yourself and
Mhm.
taking into your spouse.
Wow.
You got something, or you got someone, and you know who they are. I know her.
Yes.
I don't have to second guess. So when we go to bed at night, I don't have to wonder, oh, I wonder if it's safe.
Mm,
You see, you go out there, you don't know if that's safe.
that's
It's a
right.
pretty face, but you don't know how safe that is.
Mm,
Two things. It may not be safe, and you're going against God's covenant.
that's good. That's good. Very, very good.
But you know, this is his favorite topic, marriage.
Yes.
That's his. If there's any topic in the world he wants stuck on him for the rest of his life is the marriage topic. But
That's
yes,
good.
the 58 years, it doesn't feel like 58 years. I was saying to my pastor the other night, I said, I remember when before we were married and we were engaged for 1 year, and we would go on Long Wharf, I think it was, there opposite Nassau Street, that beach out there.
Yeah.
And we would sit in the moonlight and look at the water, and uh, and then we would go sometimes to the movie theaters. Movie theaters were really in style in
Mhm.
those days. But we never saw 58 years. We never, our focus was never on one of these days it's going to be 58 years. One of these days, what are we going to look like 58 years later? What are we going to be doing? Are we still, those thoughts never cross your mind.
We thought about the now.
You just focused on the present.
Yes,
You,
yes.
you, I didn't see, and all of a sudden you wake up one morning and it's 58 years. And you're like, wow, well, we know we had hills, we even had mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we had valleys. I mean, they didn't just come like that. They the hills, the higher the mountain, the deeper the valley.
Yes, yes,
And sometimes you didn't have the mountain top, but you had a hilltop,
yes.
which was just as nice and just as you're thankful for and you're grateful for. We have had grief, we have had deaths, and with our baby girl, we've had a death with one of our sons who was 38 at the time. He was an adopted child, but
But he
we
was
had him
ours.
we had him since he was a year and 4 months, and when he died, he was 38, so he was our child.
Right.
Oh
And then,
wow!
yeah, we watch our baby
How did
girl
y'all
live.
deal with that? See, because
We wa-
I know people in situations like that tears the family apart.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
we had a baby. We watched her die after 10 days of entering the world.
Oh
And
wow!
you could imagine having a crib in your room
Yep.
and a suitcase packed with baby clothes,
Oh, that's hard.
and then you 10 days later the hospital called to say, do you want us to get rid of the
Yep.
body? you
Wow.
know and my husband used to go in every day, and they would robe him with a gown and he would hold her. I never held her because the doctor kept telling me I can't give you any hope, and the grief was too heavy for me, and I couldn't bear to hold. I used to peep at her through the glass,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't hold her because my body just wasn't allowing me to do that. It was just too painful.
Yes.
Oh
So Frank,
wow!
he used to be the one who would go in and sit and hold her in his lap, of course, with all the tubing and everything through her body.
And
Wow.
they
You
would
know,
keep telling me she breathing strong, she breathing strong.
and she,
You know this for someone to tell you every single day she breathing strong, and then on that last day they say, I want to know what you did or
you
what you didn't do.
if you're walking up the corridor, you could hear her crying, and the doctors would say she is the tiniest baby in the nursery, but she got the strongest cry. And so all of a sudden, you wake up early one morning with a phone call that she passed.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
hard.
so
Yeah.
we have had every day was not laughter. Every day was not laughter.
Well, we have Merciful from Lagos, Nigeria. She wants to know: do you have heated arguments to such an extent that you feel like giving up, you feel like quitting? Have you been through that part of the valleys?
Yes,
Give me
the
yes.
answer is yes. I have been there many times, but I don't know if it was as deep as I thought it was. But it didn't last very long. I mean, for that moment, you felt like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I think I'm gonna go. But before you know it, the homeboy asking you to come go with him to Kelly's to buy one tool or a piece of wood to fix something or to make something, and you forgot you're supposed to be vexed, and you say yes. And then, but by the time you get in the car with your hat on, I was supposed to be vexed. Why am I sitting in this car? I, and these are the things that happened to me. I always forget I'm supposed to be vexed. But I do be vexed at that particular moment. Yeah.
You see those
So
times,
that's a
those
good thing. You can forget that. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
see, let me tell you something. I love I love touching. I can't go to bed without even either my foot gonna throw over you or my arm gonna throw around you. Something can happen, and I don't care. I don't care. We could just finish having a little powwow. But when you see me go to bed, my legs throw across the road, and that's that.
That'd be good.
See, with men don't hang on to things.
No, no, you're right.
Men don't hang on to things. You see, men do what they have to do. They say what they have to say, and when they finish, we just don't hang on.
Yes.
You see,
And that is so true.
yeah.
That is so true. Um, um, since you are our guest, it's going to be all about you. Tell us something that can be a takeaway for someone that is listening. Um, what they do to make their marriage? We also have another question first before I go there. Um, so, Jason from Toronto was saying, I had most ingredients you are speaking about, but we found out that we were not compatible after the fact. Mm, that's
I,
that,
you want me to
that.
take that one? Let me take that one.
Okay.
Um, Anytime I meet a couple or anyone, whether single or couple, I would say, listen. If it's a single person, I say, listen. When you decide to find Mr. Right, not Mr. Perfect, Mr. Right. I say because there ain't none of us perfect.
Hmm.
No husband, no wife perfect. It might be the right person for you, but they definitely ain't gonna be perfect. I
Right.
say, let me know. Come and see me. You see, because I can let you know this ain't no dolly house play. You see, and too many times when you see a lot of pastors are not counselors, but a lot of pastors they would do premarital counseling. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that,
Right.
okay? But they're not. A lot of them are not counselors, and if you are not, sometimes you don't get into the things that you don't go down the roads where you need to go.
Hmm.
You see, because when I sit with you, we're talking about compatibility now. When I sit with you, I want to see each person individually by themselves
Right.
because I want to find out from the fella, how did you meet this gal? What do you know about her? What do you know about her parents? Are they living together? Are they married? Are they divorced? Do they fight? You see, we need to the person who you are getting married to need to know those kind of things because if a fellow was brought up in a home where his daddy already beaten the mummy and he is brought up in that type of environment, he
Hmm.
may feel well that is the type of that's the way I supposed to be. I
Right.
can rule my wife. I can beat her down anytime I feel because that is what he grew up with.
Hmm. Yeah.
We train our children. We we train our children without training them.
Hmm.
They watched everything we did.
No, but he's talking about compatibility in your
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah.
Yeah.
You see, they watched us, and because of the way how we handle ourselves, our children are handling themselves in the same way.
Hmm.
You
Yes.
see, so as far as compatibility go, this is something you need to determine and understand before you walk up the aisle.
And
Yes and
Doc,
no.
go ahead. Go ahead, Doc.
Yes and no, because sometimes you are compatible at the time of marriage. And as persons grow and develop, one person could become far more qualified than the other.
Hmm.
And so then you lose compatibility there. And so
Yes.
now you need to know how to handle that. So one way is to encourage the other partner to develop while you develop, as you develop, or if they don't want to, then you have to decide that there are going to have to be compromises.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, there will have to be compromises. Now, what happened in our family and in our marriage is my husband.
I don't like that laugh. I do not like that laugh.
I can't wait till something juicy get ready to say.
I am interested right now.
See, the things that he's excellent at, it don't matter to me. As long as he's excellent at it, I'm satisfied that I don't have to be because he is, and so I can lean on his strengths.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in my case, there's hardly anything that I have ever done or been involved in that he didn't join in, right? So when if I join any women's association, whatever, you might find that he's the only man sitting in the place. Well, you would have had some experience with that. Sometimes we come to our meetings and he's the only man there. Well,
Yes.
that's not anything new. He's been doing that all his life. I
Even there's a woman's association somewhere. when I don't come, they actually say, "Where is Mr. Bethel?" So
That's good.
So
So
that
so you work that to your advantage.
that's what he does. Something else I wanted to say that he does. Oh, very recently, early this year, I went to do a course. Somebody was offering a course on AI, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go on this course. I need to know all about AI. And of course, I could have driven because we both have cars, but he decided, as usual, because he drops me everywhere and he picks me up everywhere, and sometimes he will just wait in the parking lot for me or something. That's his thing. So when I got there, he said he came in to make sure there was other people there and how the setup was and all that. I mean, I'm used to that. That's been happening for 50, I should say 59 years, because we were engaged for 1 year before we got married.
Yes.
But when he got there and he saw the low setup, he said, I'm joining this class too. And so we from, from the get go, he was a member of the class. Now, all
Very
along, he didn't register for the class. He wasn't involved in the class. But from that first night on, he was in the class like he was a fully registered member. And of course, doing all the assignments and all that came with it. So there's no room for that in our marriage, because like it's like almost everything we do it together,
let me
or
slip
almost
something.
everything.
Let me slip something in right there.
that is good.
You know, in the bank where she worked at Barclays, um, she was always in human resource, and there was a human resource group. That's what I can call it
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
and
Association.
association. And I would drop her. I didn't have anything to do, so I would just hang around. And anything that they needed, I was there to assist them with. And it so happened, me not having, having anything to do with human resource, at the end of it, I was given a certificate because I was
Uh,
ready assisting them with everything that they needed. Anything, you see, I, I'm a person that anything that she's involved with, I am going to make sure that she succeeds in anything that she puts her hand to. There was a course that she was doing, and I made she wanted to give up because this was a strong one, and I kept telling her, no, 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 you're not going to give up, and it was speed writing, and
oh, that's many. That's
I
months
oh
ago.
yeah, I
We didn't even have children
uh,
yet.
I say no, you are not going to give up, and I start reading fast. I say now you keep following me, you keep following me. At the end of it, she was the only one who passed.
They only
Wow.
want to graduate. They had to postpone
Very
graduation for another semester so they can have a couple more people to walk. Because I
that
was the only one.
that is
But I would
so good.
always be there every step of the way. I enjoyed. Somebody say, "But you don't no longer than last week." I say, "But you don't get tired of being a never get tired."
I
Very
was at
good.
an
So
HR conference in Atlanta 1 year, and of course he was with me, and he went to every single session. It was just HR experts from all around the world, really, and he mingled with HR experts from everywhere. He mingles more than I am because he's a little bit more social than I am. And at the end of the day, persons were asking for him because they said, well, we thought he was the HR and you were just his wife accompanying him. We didn't realize that you were the HR and he was accompanying you, because the impression was that he was there early in the morning to have breakfast with the crew. He was chatting with the crew. He was up on all the courses. He had a seat taking his notes. And so they assumed that I was just there with my husband, but he really was the HR person.
that is so
So
wonderful.
it rules out that compatibility thing, because
Right.
Yeah.
he learns everything I learn. I don't particularly learn everything he learns because I don't have the patience for it. I was trying to play the guitar because he's a classical guitar player. And when he insisted that I cut my fingernails down as low as they can go and they began to be painful, I was finished with the guitar because my fingers were too painful trying to hold those strings. So I can't compete with him, and I don't even try to compete with him.
That's good. And I love what you said, and I trust Jason is still listening. in respect to the compatibility, maybe it's something you can try to work it. Like you said, Doc, you are not interested in everything he does, but
No.
at the same time, he makes sure you succeed in what you do.
Yeah.
And I love that. Dr. Alvin, we have just a few more minutes. What do you say about the question that came from Jason in respect to the compatibility? They lack that compatibility.
Doc, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is that if you were selfish, then you're compatible with nobody.
That's true.
You basically just compatible with yourself, so stay by yourself. But during the courting time, that's where you should be checking out if this person is somebody I can spend the rest of my life with. Is this person somebody that will be with me or that I want to be with me through life's good days and life's bad days? Because in a
Mhm.
marriage, you experience it all. You experience death, you experience marriages, you experience birth, you experience all kind of things, and you
Right.
need to know that the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with can be
Mhm.
the person that you can lean on, that can be a support to you, and
Yes.
also that you want to be a support to them. I
Yes.
remember, Doc, one time I came home and I saw Tanya's bike was parked, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, "I'm leaving you. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of
Mhm.
this marriage." And her bike was parking, and I said to her, "Hold on, hold on." So I rushed in the room, and I came up with my suitcase, and I said to her, I leave in Alvin too. Wherever Tanya go, I have to go.
I will go with go as
So
I will go.
me and you can leave Alvin because Alvin is a bad fella.
When you pack your suitcase, pack two.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it.
And then she shook her head, looked at me, and said, "Boy, you crazy." I said, "Yeah, I crazy for you."
Yes, yes. And that's what it's all about, you know. That's what it's all about.
Now, I have never, I have to say, in 58 years, I have never packed a bag, packed a suitcase. Did I give it some thought? Yeah. There were times when I think I'll do pretty good in a nice efficiency somewhere. The kids are gone, they're on their own. I could just go in a nice efficiency and I could live peacefully.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those thoughts come, but I have never physically packed anything or tried to move out or anything. I don't have the energy for that. To me, you use that energy to make things better,
Make
not
things
to make things not to separate.
See,
that.
those things develop, Dr. Marie and Dr. Alvin, those things develop when you linger on them
Yes,
and you feed them.
yes,
You
yes.
dismiss those thoughts. I mean, not that you're going to be happy with every single thing. No, but you don't linger on them.
I agree with that.
Yeah, once you start lingering, then they start to fester.
It grows, it grows,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's better not to. And maybe that is some of the where some of our listeners are today. You keep focusing on, if you focus on it, if you keep focusing on the bad, you keep getting the
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
So find some good to see the worth in that person. There may not be compatibility, but try to see the worth of what that person has.
yeah.
You know, I
And
look at
Doc,
it. Mhm.
let me add this even be before we go, so our listening audience can hear this. Because most of these divorce and these uprising and people not being able to get together is because they focusing on the 20% that they don't like, and
Yeah.
there's a whole 80 that could even be
Maybe
90
The values there.
90% of a person that you
Yeah.
just, boy, this is the perfect, this 90% is all that I want, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to sacrifice the 80 because of that 20%. It just
No
isn't
way.
hmm
worth it.
No, it
That's
hmm
isn't.
true.
And
That's
that
true.
is
Because then they also need to look at themselves and realize, like Brother Bethel said earlier when he came on, listen, you ain't 100% either.
that's
What
right.
makes you think that for that partner that you meet, you tick every box?
Right.
Yes,
You
Right.
eat
I
all of
know.
that yourself?
that's right.
I know you're just about done, but I just want to slip this in
We
before
have a
you're
couple
done.
more minutes. We're gonna go to for 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes or
Okay,
so.
I just want to slip this in because I keep missing my opportunities to say it. Now that I am the age that I am, I'm 76. I realize that a lot of things a woman go through, the husband is not aware of why she's going through it. And I often say, when I have an audience, I need to remember to say, if you
Yeah.
are very early in marriage or just about to get married, please ensure that your spouse or your expecting husband takes a class or gets vital information on the different stages of a woman's life.
Wow, that is
Woman
powerful.
goes through many stages in life, and that can cause a lot of problems in the home if the husband doesn't understand that this is normal for this woman to go through this. This mode she is in at this particular phase of life is a normal thing for a woman in this phase of life. And a husband needs to know these things because they think, oh, she's so cranky, oh, she's so moody, oh, she's doing this, or she is a reason for it. And it's not going to last forever. The childbearing phase is different from the menopause phase. The premenopause is different from the postmenopause. All of these
Oh
different.
wow.
I got married as I was a teenager. I was going on 19. So I wasn't even in my 20s yet. And so there are lots of things. I was just coming into adulthood, to really tell you the truth. And so I couldn't cook good. I couldn't hardly cook anything. My mother had tons of children. I was the oldest one. My job, and in those days there were no Pampers. So my job was to wash the
Diapers.
diapers.
Mhm.
My
Hmm.
job was to make the hot cocoa and bake homemade bread every night for my multitude of siblings because I was the oldest one and my sister's the youngest. So all I had was brothers. So most of the job was mine, right?
Wow.
It was only after, now they never taught me to cook properly because I was too busy minding. I was the perfect babysitter. I taught them not to say their prayers. I had to bathe them twice a day. I had to make sure they had their breakfast, make sure they had their tea. My mother and my aunt were only responsible for the dinner and the lunch part of it. But when it came to the morning tea and the evening tea and all of that, that was my job. And so nobody had time. My father tried when I was about 15 to show me how to fry fish. And once it scalded me a couple of times, he told me, move from the stove, let me fry my own fish because you're getting all scalded up. And that was the end. I learned how to fry fish after marriage. So, a man needs to understand these things about his expecting wife or his new wife.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so
Yeah.
powerful because, Doc, I believe that is one of the things that causes a lot of breakup in marriage because
Mhm.
the man simply does not understand his wife anymore.
Right.
And the woman's body go through a
Mm-hmm.
transition period.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
have at the beginning she is hot, she bear children and all of
Yeah.
this, and as
Mm-hmm.
years go, she go through a decline. And so if that man doesn't know, the only
Mm-hmm.
thing he's gonna find is excuses, faults. She is not this and she can't do
Right.
this, and
Uh-huh.
he will want to go look for somebody else.
Yep.
So I'm happy you brought that up, and I hope
Mm-hmm.
our men especially are listening because it's not that your wife is not or lost it for you. Her
Mm-hmm.
body is going through
Mm-hmm.
something. And
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Alvin, we had Dr. Shanta on, the Shanta on,
Yes.
and she
Mm-hmm.
spoke
With the
about
hormones.
the
Yep.
hormone
Yep.
and
Yep.
when is it a good time to approach your
Mm-hmm.
husband who is also losing his testosterone.
Yes. Testosterone.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We all
Yeah.
have our body is
Yeah.
trans.
Yeah. And each need to know the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
if you don't, if you would allow me, before you end, I would like to just throw in a little advertisement, before you close. I don't know if you want me
About
to do it
about
now.
about the
Uh,
marriage.
about the 8 weeks that I would be doing, come the first Wednesday in next month. It would be
Okay.
romance and adventure
Right.
for 8 weeks, a journey of love and unity. 8 weeks beginning the first Wednesday in next month. All married couples, you need to be here, to be a part of this.
That is good. I feel, Doc, the more we um, help our married couple, the more we show them, the better our relationship will be.
Yes,
We have a
correct.
congratulation being extended to both of you from Simone from Kingston, Jamaica. She is
Thank you
sending
so
you
much.
congratulations.
We
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
our
So
date was
So this is
just
powerful.
Tuesday past, our
yes,
58th.
wow.
Mhm.
What can you tell someone who is struggling right now in their relationship? What can you say to them?
I will truthfully, and I'm not trying to be super spiritual. I'm not trying to be holy because I'm not holy and I'm not super spiritual. But I can tell you truthfully that if God was not the center of my life, I think we will have more rocky times than we did have. Even though we had good times, mountaintops, we had rocky times, but I think the rocky times would have been worse if I did not have God on my side. I go to God with everything in my life, everything I talk to God about,
That's good.
everything.
Mhm.
And that is my guidepost. God is my guidepost, and
Mhm.
that's what holds things together for me.
Mhm.
Wow.
And Dr. Alvin mentioned something earlier about the 20% and the 80%. A lot of times we try to make a permanent decision on a temporary situation.
Yes.
Very careful with that. We're trying to make a permanent decision on a temporary problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is so true. I have
Mhm.
another question for you. Um, for you as a couple. Now, everyone may not like being together as often as you have been, because for Dr. Alvin and our listener audience, this young couple here, I get to know them. If you see them anytime of the day, you don't see one, you always see two. They go for lunch, and they can tell you they're on their separate job, but they always find time to be together. For some
Mhm.
people, that may be a little too much, maybe overbearing, or they may feel that that's not necessary. Can you speak to those couples that may not or do not like being that close all the time? But tell them, what did it do for you and why you did it?
Okay,
I-
my husband can talk on that better
Mhm.
than me, but I just want to slip something in here while we got a couple of minutes. I'm so used to my husband being around me wherever and whatever. It's sometimes I think it may have a slight disadvantage to it because you wonder if you can be an independent person. But I was talking to my daughter because this new job she's on, and she was telling me about the elevator has to go 11 floors with her all the time, and we got talking about being stuck in elevators. And I was saying to her, we had the bank I worked for had moved into a brand new building. We were on the third floor. They were still finishing up stuff in the building itself, and me and another co-worker got stuck in the elevator. It kind of went below the floor,
Ooh,
and I was saying, they were, Mommy, what did you do? And I said, well, I tried to crack it with my hand a little bit to get my mouth to the opening of the door and shout as loudly as I can. This was on Bay Street, on the very end of Bay Street, down by what do you call that place? Church Street.
Yeah,
Um,
right next to where
that
the
new Pumpy Bay, the new
yeah
Pumpy thing.
yeah, okay,
yeah that
Yeah,
arcade, yeah,
yeah, the
the
Bowman
name
Bowman House
well,
okay,
Arcade.
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
and I screaming at the top of my voice for help, and some guy came by and he said, I'm the maintenance guy in this building. I hear you, but I have to go down Bay Street to find the key to open the door to let you all out. And I said, well, how long? And I was trying to tell him how long is it going to take and how far down Bay Street and all that. And I was talking to him so much he had to leave me alone and go look for the key because I would have been talking all day. But what I really want to say about that is my husband was on Bay Street somewhere making his way up there to get me to go to the car wherever he was parked, and he heard my voice all the way down Bay Street
Stop
coming
it.
from this elevator that went down
Oh,
through.
wow.
he came there and he said, "What happened? I can hear your voice way down Bay Street shouting for help." you know.
Wow.
So in situations like that, you're glad somebody was coming there to get you, to pick you up, to walk to the parking lot with you or something. Because I know, well, once he's there, I know he can find somebody to open that door, even if he had to open it himself with something or another.
Exactly.
So yeah, just thought I'd share that joke because that actually happened.
Wow. And he heard his
And isn't
wife.
that biblical? Isn't that biblical? The two are better than one
Yeah,
because if
Yes,
one falls in a ditch, the next one can be there to take them out.
exactly,
That's right. That's right.
exactly.
Wow.
And also, they two shall be one. I took that literally and seriously.
That's good.
Yeah.
And we don't, Dr. Marie and Dr. Alvin. Just Friday gone. You remember at the end of the session where we were at the library,
And
everybody
you
was
carry
eating.
your stuff home.
My own going home. We can eat this together.
That's good. Wow.
She had a meeting Friday that same night, Friday night. Well, I knew that there were only females up at the church, so I figured I needed to do something at the sign on the corner, the church sign. So I did what I had to do, and I figured, hold on, only females up there. I'm gonna go back up there and just sit until they finish to protect all the ladies because you don't know what could happen with because they have a lot of guys hanging around up in that area.
Right.
So I figured, I'll go back up there and I'll just sit and wait.
and he sat through all that, that heavy thunder and lightning and that tornado storm. He
I
was
was right
actually
there in the
sitting
car.
in the car
Waiting
outside
on his
the
wife.
building during all that storm.
Wow, that is so beautiful. So
Yeah.
for our young people, it show listening to this couple, it shows us that marriage can be successful once
Yes.
you put the right ingredients.
Yeah.
And after putting the right ingredients, then you now have to make sure that that thing is baked properly. So
Mhm.
maybe compatibility, you may fall out of being compatible, but once you would have made that decision, this is what I want, for better or for worse, then you try to make it work. Now, if you didn't do the better or for worse, sometime out of integrity, let me make this thing work because I came this far. Because some people feel you could jump into a relationship and jump out tomorrow, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
true.
When you stand to say I want this man or this woman as my wife, you are taking on a covenant. You're
Mhm.
not just standing there talking words. A covenant is what is it's a powerful thing that keeps a
Yes, that
relationship.
binds you.
It binds you to that relationship. So I want to encourage our audience, don't just jump out. Find
No.
a way to make it work. Find someone
Yeah.
like this 58-year-old couple who can give you some good advice
Hmm.
and let you know that we've been that road, but we made it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Dr. Bethels, for the Bethels, what would be some of your last words? We have about 2 more minutes. What would be some of your last word of advice to our listening audience today?
Communication is key. You have to communicate. Now, sometimes it's not easy to communicate. I went through those stages too. Sometimes it's very difficult for me to get a point across to my husband, but that's no reason to leave. That's not no reason to walk out.
Yeah.
These things are going to wear off. And then you find that you might jump into another relationship and then another relationship, and everybody has a fault.
Yes.
So that might not work either. And then when you look, you've been in, married 3 times, married 4 times. Those is not necessary, unless of course you're in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Somebody is about to take your life. Somebody is about to make you crippled for the rest of your life. Get out. I would say get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Doc, what is your final word for the day?
My final word. We ain't all the material, we just all the time. And I want to say to the Bethels, thank you because listen, this for what we can see here, um, that was a match made in heaven. And you all are doing Y'all are doing an excellent job. This couple, y'all two are proof that marriage is still a good idea and it could work. And
Yes, sir.
because this generation, like I was counseling a couple, and the girl said to me, "Well, if this don't work, I just get a divorce and try again." I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 that's the wrong mindset.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Marriage is for life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Marriage is for life." So I
A
just
good
want to
friend.
encourage. I
Yeah.
want to encourage the listening audience to listen. If you think you're ready for it, you can't be selfish. You got to be mature. You got
Yes.
to be focused, and you got to be serious. And realize that once you are in it, you are in it to win it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And do all it takes to make sure you win.
Hmm.
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you to our listening audience. It was great spending this hour with you, hour and 15 minutes with you. We also want to thank the Bethels for sharing their time with
Yes, yes.
58 years. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Alvin, for being our co host always on the show. And I pray that you have a blessed remainder of the day to each of you in the audience, in the open. Yeah.
Hmm.
Till next time. Yeah.